moving on to the last but not least team, or probably least team in the NFC West, going to be the Seattle Seahawks. Sorry, Seahawks fans. Missed out in the playoffs last year, ended at 7-10, and they are kind of going through a transition phase. Let me just read off some of the departures. Obviously, in case you didn't know, quarterback Russell Wilson traded. Bobby Wagner, as we mentioned, was released and eventually signed with the Rams. Lost Carlos Dunlap. Kerry Hyder, one from the 49ers, got. He also departed from there. They lost tackle Dwayne Brown, who just signed with the Jets, I think, as of today. And then Chris Carson also, he unfortunately had to retire due to a neck injury that bothered him last season. So lost a lot of guys, but also brought in a bunch of new guys. Defensive tackle Shelby Harris. Defensive tackle Quentin Jefferson. Brian Edgy guy from the Chargers, Uchenna Nwosu. Cornerback Justin Coleman. Got Noah Fant and Drew Lock, tight end quarterback from the Broncos, in addition to all the other picks that they got. Wide receiver Marquise Goodwin. Addressed the O-line with center Austin Blythe in free agency, and then went around in the first round and grabbed tackle Charles Cross out of Mississippi State. And then in the draft, because this is a young team, also got another edge guy in Boye Mafe. I think he's from Minnesota, if I'm remembering correctly, in the second round. Grabbed Kenneth Walker III in the second round as well. And then I only added these two guys because they've kind of made noise in camp. Cornerback Kobe Bryant in the fourth, and cornerback Tariq Woolen in the fifth round out of UTSA, who's apparently had a great camp. So Pete Carroll's still there. They're kind of, news seems to be that Geno Smith's winning the quarterback job. So what are your expectations for the Seattle Seahawks this season?
I don't think they're a playoff team. I don't think there's really any hope they can make the playoffs. Maybe if they were in a really terrible division, they could have a chance. But you're in one of the best divisions in football where the third place team is the Arizona Cardinals, who in some divisions could be the best team. So it's going to be a tough year for Seahawks fans, especially since for most of Russell Wilson's career there, I think they had maybe one or two losing seasons, and that was due to the fact that Russell was hurt. So when Russell was healthy, they were in the playoffs. They were competing for Super Bowls, even in the early part of his career. So it's going to be a tough year for Seahawks fans. And ironically, at the same time, I think this is one of the most talented offenses the Seahawks have had in a very long time, besides the quarterback spot. With Geno Smith and Drew Lock, I just don't think that there's really any, like I said, playoff viability. But you still have DK Metcalf. You still have Tyler Lockett. You added Noah Fant in the trade, so you got a really good tight end. And then running back, you got Rashad Penny and Kenneth Walker. You got two young rookies at tackle and Charles Cross, who we're both very high on. Abraham Lucas at the right tackle spot. You got Gabe Jackson at guard in a trade. So, there's I think this could be one of the best Seahawks offensive lines we've seen in quite some time, because throughout Russell Wilson's career, they unfortunately just never gave him one. And obviously the receivers, they still have a lot of proven talent over there. So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting year for Seahawks fans. I don't think that they're going to be a contender for like the worst team in the league because of the talent they do have, because of Pete Carroll. But I wouldn't be shocked if they're just pretty pitiful on defense. They were already pretty bad last year. You lose Bobby Wagner and a couple other key pieces, and I've already seen like Jamal Adams has been dealing with some injuries throughout camp. Jordan Brooks, their linebacker, has been dealing with some injuries throughout camp. So, two of their best defenders are already kind of questionable going into the year. And, you just don't have a lot of other great defensive talent around those guys and like Quandre Diggs. So it'll be a good opportunity for a lot of young players to step up, like, maybe Kobe Bryant, like you said, maybe Tariq Woolen, because the cornerback spots are pretty wide open. Same goes for anybody along the defensive line, the offensive lines, just a lot of opportunity for young players to make their mark. And yeah, we'll see what happens with the Seahawks as they go into a rebuild, but yeah, low expectations for them going into this year, but they do have talent.
Yeah, I think they're going to be like a real, like for our spread picks, they're going to be an annoying team to pick. I think they're going to, the formula's going to be probably, we're going to run the ball. Typical Pete Carroll, early Russell Wilson years when Russell didn't probably have the full trust of the offense. And now they have Geno Smith and Drew Lock. So I don't think there's going to be much trust offensively. And we kind of saw last season lean heavily on the run game. And I expect them to do that pretty much this whole season. So I just think they're going to be a real annoying team. I think they missed the playoffs. I think 7-10, 6-11 is probably their range. They may, squeak out a game or two. It's just going to be a lot of growing pains for this team. As much as I love Drew Lock, I doubt he's going to win the job. And if he does, I'm not sure if he can be the guy for them. So they may be in a quarterback, right back in the quarterback market. But like you mentioned, hopefully they can build up the rest of the roster, develop some of these young guys that they've drafted recently, like a Jordan Brooks. Maybe that's why they felt comfortable letting Bobby Wagner go, basically for free. We'll see what happens in Seattle, but yeah, a lot of turnover there. But that is the NFC West. Basically, we kind of feel that this will be an extremely competitive division. I think we both felt that, but though it will be the Niners and Rams as the cream of the crop of this division, and we expect the Cardinals probably to fall. But once again, who knows until football season commences.